Welcome to the first mini episode of Actively Catholic Theologian. Today I'm going to talk about something that I've talked about in a previous episode of a previous version of this channel, which is listening and being aware of other points of view. It's something that I see as a problem. People tend to have political sides, and they tend to be able to see the point of their political side or their particular kind of theology, and they're often deaf to the arguments from the other side. And sometimes it's because they look at the other side's arguments and just think they're stupid. Sometimes they're right. Both sides are right about that sometimes. But unfortunately, there's just a kind of general feeling of animosity on both right and left that I find distressing. Now, I've always traditionally been on the more conservative side. Most of my friends would say that I'm fairly conservative. In the current climate, that's not the case, because conservatism isn't what it was even 10 years ago, politically or in many ways among Catholics. And I have some issues with that. But I'm also very clearly not a liberal, although there are some points that liberals make over time that I've come to see more and more as really valid and really worth exploring further. I think that it seems to me the key in a lot of this is just being willing to listen and understand a point of view that's not your own. And unfortunately, we're a society now where people aren't really willing to do that nearly as much as they once were. We've never been very good at it, to be honest, but we used to be a lot better than we are now. So I do have a point of view. As these videos progress, you'll get my point of view a lot of the time. Hint, it's going to be Catholic pretty much always. But there is a lot of diversity and range within Catholicism. Catholics can have different views on a lot of different topics, and that's okay. There are non-negotiables, and there are things about which Catholics can disagree and have heated arguments, and yet remain faithful Catholics. Not everything puts one outside of the church. Not every position is heretical. Some of them are better than others, I would say. Some of them are more faithful than others on particular points. But a lot of times you find that even those positions which are less than faithful on some points are actually trying to be faithful to another strand of the tradition on another point. Catholic politicians, for example, often fall into this. I remember a couple years ago watching Paul Ryan and Joe Biden debate for the vice presidency, and thinking at the time, isn't it funny? They're both kind of arguing that their positions come from their Catholicism. And neither of them are wrong in that. Both of them were correct in that the political positions that they held were based, at least in part, on Catholic teaching. Yet they were both, frankly, ignoring other parts of Catholic teaching in the political positions that they held, because ultimately they were holding positions with the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. So Biden is willing, even if he's personally opposed to abortion, to allow it a place that Catholics ought not to. And Paul Ryan, even if he is personally for helping the poor, well, you would not really be able to tell that based on some of the legislation that he has put through. So it's interesting that in Catholicism you can have this diversity. We can have a conversation. And that's something I want to do with this YouTube channel, is open up a conversation with those who hold to different opinions, even as I will present a Catholic opinion, not necessarily the only Catholic opinion or interpretation. I might prefer that language than many other people. So hopefully you'll enjoy this channel. Hopefully you'll enjoy these videos as they come forward. I'm still new at this, but it's fun. So let's see what happens. Thank you.